Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Platter. I'm putting this video together because there's a lot of layoffs right now, and actually today Silicon Valley Bank actually tanked and had to get taken over. So right now in the world, there's a lot of people looking for jobs, trying to get interviews, getting ghosted, and that sucks. And I want to do my part to help out. A little bit about me. I don't know if we can do a screen share here. I'll see if I can in the background. So I've been here we go. We're going to see if we can shuffle out of this. I've been a consultant in my history. So a lot of time when I'm looking for jobs or I'm trying to find work, it's just very, very tough. And so I've learned how to make a system out of it so that when I start applying or do something, it's very quick and very easy for me to land interviews. And so I haven't followed a mentor for this. I've just made it up on the spot. But these green spots are where I have interviews. And so once I turn on my system that I'm about to show you, my record is 28 interviews in 1 week. And these are all the actual results back in May of 2022, where I ran my system about 3 hours a day, was applying for roles, and then had all these conversations. In my record, I've got about 3 offers within 3 weeks. So I'm not here to I guess that's a humble brag, but I want to share this with you. I'm not selling anything. I'm going to share some free, a couple paid promotions, but I don't have any referral links or anything. But I want to help people get jobs. It sucks when you're trying to figure it out and no one's helping you. So this is my time to help out. So here we go. I'm going to go right into it. I'm going to go back to a screen share here. And we're going to start off. This is your how-to guide on setting yourself up to be a top performing candidate. First off, you need to get a professional Gmail. Don't get like Purple Puppy or Beer Pounder 323. Get your first name and your last name Gmail account. I don't care if it's a period or an underscore or whatever, but something professional that people can reference you and they know that your name and your email go together. If you have a nickname and your name is Robert, but you go by Bob, do Bob Johnson. Don't do Robert. Go by what people can intuitively follow. Once you have a Gmail set up, I want you to go ahead and go to your Google Drive, drive.google.com. You're going to have a folder that you're going to make, and you're going to set up some settings afterward. And this is where you're going to put all of your good stuff when it comes to sending resumes out to people. You're no longer ever going to send a PDF or a Word document. You're now going to send a link to your candidate packet, and it'll have all of your updated documents. And if you have a misspelling or typo in your resume, you will always upload that to this Google Drive, and people will have the latest and greatest of what you have to offer. So start off with professional Gmail. Second, you're going to use your Google Drive as your storage file that you're going to share as a link to your portfolio. From here, since look at this long URL, that is crazy long, that is intimidating for anybody. I want you to also go ahead and go to this site here, Cut Lead. So for this one, it's going to be a URL shortener. So it takes your long URL and it breaks down into about 10 letters or so. This is going to be the link that you share with people. You're not going to share this long drive.google. You're going to share a custom link that's going to cut lead within a couple letters, and it's going to go straight to your Google Drive. It's a little shorter, a little faster, and a little easier for getting all of your background into one shortened link. It's free. I highly recommend signing up for it. On top of that, you're also going to get a subscription to Loom, and it's going to look very, we'll just go Loom to everything. Yeah, we're just going to go to whatever. Google and then Loom. So Loom is a screen recording platform, and it's a professional way for you to go ahead and record your screen and your webcam at the same time. Right now I'm doing a YouTube video because I want to get it straight to the internet, but this is a great way to create videos, shareable links, and create something that you can walk through and guide through for projects that you've done. Whenever I have a role that I'm really stoked and excited about, I create a walkthrough video and then I send a link to people so they know exactly how to hear my voice and walk through everything. When people watch your work and you describe what you do and how you do it for them, they get used to your voice as well. You want them to be comfortable when they talk to you either on the phone or on Zoom. And when they've heard your voice and narrate projects, they're not wondering who you are or what you do, and that you sound like a friend, someone that they've heard and listened to. If you ever had a chance to talk to like a Joe Rogan or Barack Obama, you'd probably feel like you knew them, even though you haven't met them, because of that audio familiarity. You want that on your side by making videos that people click on and watch. On top of all these free programs that you're using our Gmail for, you also want a free Zoom account. This is how you are going to control how you interact and engage with people. So very simple, very basic. Create a free Zoom account with your professional Gmail. We'll use this in a moment, but a lot of people want to see you and hear you when they interact. Don't do a WebEx, don't do FaceTime, do something professional that the big boys are using. So get a free Zoom account and a free Loom account. Loom is with an L, Zoom is with a Z. Now that we've gotten this far, we're going to do one more free account, and it's going to be to a thing called Calendly. When you are sending out your resume, you want this on your resume. Your resume that we'll see here in a minute will have 3 links, one to your LinkedIn, one to your calendar booking tool, another to your portfolio. This is one that's going to be a game changer. No one is doing this nowadays. It's free. I don't know why people don't do it. When people want to schedule something with you, right now, at this moment in time, people are calling, emailing, they're doing tag one way or the other. What's your availability? What's your time zone? And it sucks. It makes confusion, overlap, and inconsistency. With Calendly, you can set up text reminders and email reminders when people click on your link and schedule something. Mine is very basic and simple. You just simply pick a date, pick a time that you have open and available, and the person can quickly type in their name, their email, the purpose of meeting, and where they need to get text and reminders to. I have had recruiters set up a meeting with me just by clicking on my Calendly after looking at my videos, looking at my resume, booking a time with me. I haven't met them, but they've spent half an hour looking at my documents and hearing my voice. This is how you prove that you know what you're doing, you're organized, you're professional, and you're easy to get a hold of. Calendly is free. You can connect multiple calendars if you want to upgrade and pay for that, but tie Calendly in with your new Google Gmail that you have. It'll keep yourself organized and make it easy for the other person or you to reschedule along the way. Next, we're going to go to LinkedIn. We're going to do a little bit of LinkedIn optimization, and we're going to make sure that you have a resume ready to rock and roll. So on LinkedIn, I have a paid premium membership, so some of the stuff may not be relevant for folks that have free. We're going to start by going to your main profile. Go ahead and edit your profile URL. If you look at the top, mine just says my first name and last name. When you make a LinkedIn, it will give a lot of numbers and random letters, and you do not want that. I can't remember how to do it here, but shorten and edit. Here we go, custom URL. Go ahead and edit your URL, first name and last name, and go with the name that you want to be called. If your name is 50 letters long, but you go by Michael, do Michael and then your name. You don't want to do the name game of when they click on your profile or your resume, and you always have to correct everyone. Oh, my name is actually Michael. When you don't, that only matters what your actual birth legal name is when it comes time for background checks. Here, we're using nicknames. I could call myself Gunner. Nobody will know. And as long as I respond to Gunner, it doesn't matter until we get to the background check, after interviews, after a job offer, after that phase. So get a custom URL that's professional and aligns with your name you want to be known by. Going back to the profile section, get a professional headshot. I did something where I wanted to be easier to find. I did some grad school work, and all of these apps and stuff were before grad school. But when I went to grad school, I went to a school that had brand recognition specifically, and I would get my education on my own term. So here I went to LSU. When people forget about my name, which they will forget about everybody's name, they want to remember who is that person? How did I know them? Let's just do a quick example here. So people that look at my profile, look at these folks. Don't look at the name, just look at the picture. Lady, guy, lady. Okay, all right, trivia questions. What are their names? How do you find them? You can't. It's impossible. There's nothing besides a suit, a haircut, a tie, background that you can remember these people. Since I went to LSU and it's in my profile, people can now type in folks or connections that LSU, and they'll find me even if they don't remember my name whatsoever. You need to be findable and searchable. So this is something that I did. If you went to a no-name school like my undergrad, don't worry about it. Find a way to be memorable, whether it's a nickname or something, but you want people to be able to find you. In the featured section, which I think is also for free members, you can kind of pin your top content that you want people to remember you by, kind of like on Instagram. In the featured section, I wanted something that was a little bit about my personal development mindset, something about my tech skills in the field that I'm in, data analytics, something about helping people find roles and right here, and being a human. And then an article series that's probably my favorite thing I've ever written, how I landed 40 interviews and 3 job offers within, I can't remember how long it was. Within 21 days. So this is what I did a couple years back. It's the same system we're going over today, but content that I've contributed to the world out there. Put some content up here that either gets high engagement that your audience is a fan of, or ways that you want people to resonate and like you. If you're into a certain hobby, then put that in there, but something that's relevant so people get a feel for who you are, not just the catchphrases that you may give out. In the About section, this is very important for getting found on the LinkedIn SEO. There's going to be a couple sections. You want to have an elevator pitch that tells people what you do and who you are. It has to be quick and easy. If you can't get someone to keep reading about you in 2 or 3 sentences, it's not punchy enough. You need people to know what you do and how you do it. In the selected accomplishments section that you should write, have numbers and ways to validate and quantify the impact that you've had. We're going to do a quick rabbit trail example here, and I'm just going to show something on numbers within resumes. I know not everyone likes numbers. I know not everyone likes math or algebra, but let's put on our hat. Like, you're the recruiter. You're the hiring manager. A couple of years ago, I tried to hire someone to help me with some paid social media for Facebook ads in particular. And guys, it is shocking how hard it is to figure out who to hire. When you put out a job posting, you'll get 400 resumes in one day. You have no clue what you're looking for, what's going to stand out, if someone's a good fit, or if it's a bunch of spam people. And so this is something that I did a couple of years ago. I was trying to hire a virtual assistant to help me run some Facebook ads. And very quickly, you find that there's a lot of generic vanilla people that describe themselves, and you want to stand out. For better or for worse, you have to be different. So let's pretend we're trying to find someone to run Facebook ads or a marketing campaign for your business. This very first section, they talk about what can they do. They can help you sell services, do lead gen, they can scale. Okay, that's very generic. Anyone can do that. I'm sorry, but that's not very helpful. For this next one, they're goal-oriented, they're good at time management, Photoshop skills, they've worked in a factory for 8 months. Guys, if you're selling something on Amazon and you need to do, or like you own a gym, or you're trying to sell computer monitors, you need to know that what people do can convert. Oh gosh, graphic design, Facebook marketing, and Google Apps expert. This is what you do not want to do. And I'm hoping I find a good one that pops up here. Very basic skill summary, very vague skill sets. If you're trying to hire someone and you get fired if you hire a bad person, this is not how you want to do it. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to refine my research if at all possible. I'm going to type in something that I know is going to give us results here. So something that's industry term is going to be ROAS. And we're going to look at a great example of someone who's done it. ROAS stands for return on ad spend. I know we're getting into the weeds. It's just a side example to show. And this is someone actually that I've bookmarked for some work for when I need her in the future for campaigns. Here we go. This is how you want to pitch yourself. Are you currently struggling to maximize Facebook? Yes. Return on ad spend. That's industry lingo. Keep reading. My name is this. I do this. I do this for at least a couple people. 3 reasons why I'm an expert. I like this. This is engaging. You get to know her personality, writing style. I'm obsessed. I'm OCD, obsessive compulsive. I'm only looking for this. All right, so she's the boss. She's telling me what kind of employer she wants to work for. Mad respect for that. She's not cheap, so that's fine. I'm willing to pay as an employer for good talent if they're good. So I only work with clients who will spend this much. Okay, so she knows the lingo. I was hoping she would quantify some of her results, like a 5-for-1 spend, or she's able to work with businesses as large as a certain size. But guys, you need to quantify your impact. Those are just a quick example. So talk about your revenue gain, your cost savings, your time reduction from all of the value you provide. People need to know what you're going to do. Besides, I'm going to write copy. I am going to push the button in the factory. I'm going to make cold calls. You need to put a number to what you do, whether it's time savings, cost savings, or a revenue increase. And if you're not positive about the exact dollar amount that you've done, round it and get as close as you can to the truth. Here's how to do it. This is going to be your tech stack. So what do you use when the computer turns on that you get your job done on? And don't use something that's assumed like Word or Excel or PowerPoint, something that's industry specific. If you're in marketing, do like Marketo or MailChimp, something that's going to be relevant. In the data world, I use Tableau and Power BI, as well as different reporting procedures. If I knew Python or R, I would put that in here. I'm rusty on those, so I don't act like I'm a boss in those areas. At the bottom, make it easy for people to get a hold of you. Your professional email, your calendar booking tool, and make it easy for people to find you and get in touch with you. If you have volunteering or other stuff down below, do that. This is how you optimize your LinkedIn. Now, if you only want to do a free LinkedIn, then stop here, skip to the next section. If you want to do a paid LinkedIn, follow this step. So go to the more and then build resume. Here, we're going to go ahead and upload your existing resume. And here, we're going to go very quickly to a resume that I have used in the past. And it's going to scan your resume and tell you what keywords you do have and which ones you do need in order to land the kind of role that you're looking for. So here, if we can get the spelling. So let's pretend I want it to be an analytics director. Why not? Sounds like a good job title. Who knows? Probably get a little bit of a pay bump. So along this way, it finds which keywords are in your resume, which is fantastic, and which ones you're missing that it recommends you put in. When people post jobs, there are consistent keywords and buzzwords that are relevant. You want these on your resume and in your LinkedIn. So it looks like I have a little bit of work to do. Obviously, I'm not perfect, and it looks like I have more work to do than being done. So that's what we're going to do and polish up our resume. Now, for our resume, we're going to go over, there's two ways to do it. One, that's going to be free. Go to Google and type in Harvard resume template. This is shocking that it's even still out here. When folks attend Harvard and they're ready to graduate, Harvard wants all their students to land jobs pronto. It looks bad for your school if your students cannot find work. They have an extension school to help their students land roles, contracts, and employment opportunities, and they put together career services, and this is their publicly available area. Use action verbs that they recommend. Take out words that are vanilla and non-meaningful, and they follow the templates that they give you, whether it's with the resume, with cover letters. This is your bread and butter on a resume style. This is great for free people or folks that want something that's very applicant tracking system, ATS friendly. I have one of these. I use a different one for personal preference, but I use one for a website called Enhance CV. This one I pay for. I think it's like $25 or $30 a month. No affiliation, no partnerships, but this is what I use. Since I'm in data and visualization, I like to have a little bit of color and aesthetic with it. So at the top, you put in your name, your contact info, your keywords that LinkedIn told you, like Power BI, business analytics. These are the keywords in your skill set section. You also want your 3 links, your calendar booking tool. So no matter where somebody is, they can always book a time with you. A link to your candidate packet, which is going to be your Google Drive, shortened by Cutly. And then your LinkedIn condensed, cleaned up URL. People have 3 ways of clicking on the internet to find you and get a hold of you. At the top, you have your professional email and your phone number. And in each section of roles that you have had, always quantify the work that you've done. Now, if you're a college student and you haven't done these projects, I'd recommend referencing something you did in school, maybe a group project, but also do like a complementary project with publicly available info. Whether it's writing copy for McDonald's Corporation or doing a data project on the Titanic survivors or on COVID cases, do a little bit of homework for your own portfolio so that you can show that you can do the work day one. If you're knocking on their door saying, hey, I'm a great employee, I can't show you any of my work, what are the odds they're going to even want to talk to you when there are folks that have done work that want to meet with you? That's not to put you down. That's not to discourage you, but it says get your rear in gear. Do a little bit of side work. Do a little bit of practicing, 5 hours, and put together some sample code, some sample copy, some sample cold calls that you've recorded on yourself, and do some sample work, even if it had no employment when you were making it. So go ahead. If you're willing to pony up a few dollars, I'd say get enhanced CV. I've gotten a lot of compliments, and this has gotten my resume in touch with people simply by being aesthetically pleasing on that side. So that's the LinkedIn, the free and the premium. We're going to do one last thing as well. This is going to separate us and save you a lot of time. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of screen bouncing here on the side, but you want to automate your entire interaction with recruiters. When you get messages or people are asking the same questions or sending you the same emails, you need a quick and easy way to respond. So I'm going to show a couple examples on my email signatures. Here we go. All right. Pull this over into this screen. So these are the ones that I've used. Feel free to copy them. Some of these is just to save your time. So when you are getting a brand new email response and it's either a rejection email or we'd like to interview you or what are your salary expectations, you want to have an automated response so you're not reinventing the wheel. Yes, I have 18 email signatures. Yes, I use them all. So for this one here, thanks for reaching out. If it's just a generic, hey, Nathan, we'd like to interview you. I like to get cut to the chase and ask what the compensation is up front. I've done this before, and I'm not afraid to ask the question. In every case, you want to link to your LinkedIn, your calendar, and your candidate packet. People always need to reference back to what they've seen either about you, how to get a hold of you, or work that you've done, your footprints in the sand. You want people to be able to get around and find what you need. If it's certain roles that you don't like hybrid, have a canned response for that. If you get a random LinkedIn email, then this is my response. Now, these are the ones that I've used to separate myself from the rest of the pack. One that I actually have used that have helped me get interviews are actually rejection emails. A lot of people will respond back, F you, or they don't respond. This is your chance to interact and engage. Even if they say no, they're talking to you. Love me or hate me, at least be talking with me. When I get a rejection email, I always send this one. Hi, so-and-so, thank you for the response. Hope you find what you're looking for. If not, I'd be happy to connect with you. No hard feelings. And then LinkedIn, Calendly, and your candidate packet. I have landed at least 8 interviews with places where they had 5 spots, but I was such a gracious and positive person. They wanted me to be their 6th applicant just in case the others did not work out. The last thing you want is to hire a crummy corporate culture person, someone who's going to be ego-driven, aggressive, abusive. Someone who, if you can show your character and who you are as a person and they like that, they will talk to you even if you don't meet all the technical qualifications. Now, this works 5% of the time, so don't put your eggs in this basket, but it's helped me. This is where you're also going to follow up, and then we'll get to the final closing section. When recruiters or hiring managers are ghosting you, you are owning your follow-up cadence. When you donate blood and then the Red Cross calls you once a week for the rest of your life? It's called a CRM, a client relationship management system or something like that. But they have you in their system and they know when to follow up with you and what about. We'll show you in a minute the one I use to keep track of my 200 plus recruiters and following up those conversations and never missing a beat. So if you apply and you communicate with a recruiter and they ghost you, this is your first response. LinkedIn, calendar, portfolio. Hey, all's going well. Anything we can do to take next steps? And you send it. 7 days later, if they don't acknowledge you, follow up. Are we giving up on this project? It gives them the power to say, yep, we're walking away from you. Or no, sorry, thank you for getting back. Life's been busy. My dog got sick. Let's have a conversation this Tuesday. If after your conversations, after one communication, the second communication, we're going to do one last ditch effort. We're not going to hang out like a clingy boyfriend, girlfriend. We are going to own walking away. We are not afraid to do it because we will have 30 interviews per week. We don't have time to dink around here. This is your third follow-up 7 days later. Hi, so-and-so. Looks like our timing is off. Happy to continue whenever you want to. I've had folks circle back with me months later, and this was the final taste in their mouth from interacting with me. You need to own yourself like a brand. Brands own the conversation, how they're perceived, and how they communicate and interact. If they want to talk to you after this, fantastic. If not, this is their last interaction with you, and they know what you're about. So I recommend having these follow-ups. Send them 7 days apart. And the goal of them is to reinitiate the conversation and to pick up where things left off. If they don't want to, that's fine. You're not going to worry about it. They're not going to worry about it. You're going to move on with your life and find something else to do for the next role. I'm going to pull up this last area, and if there's enough interaction with the video, happy to share this. It's something I've put together as well. It's my job tracking tool. I had to shorten it just so everyone could see it and take some names out. But this is how I track all of my conversations. And yes, it is a very fancy spreadsheet. Here's what you do. In the far left section, whenever you get an interaction, you instantly come in here and you type in who you're talking to, the recruiter, the hiring manager, a link to the job in particular, the company or the agency that you're working with, the job title that you're pursuing. And then I did a level for like a hierarchy thing. All right. And then we're going to go over to the city. I did remote, so I didn't really use this one in case it was near or far. How the channel is how they like to communicate. Some people are texters. Some are phone call, email, LinkedIn mail. There are a number of ways to communicate, guys. You need to communicate on how they keep themselves organized. You are going to be organized. They're probably not going to be as organized. If they're a texter, you are texting the recruiter. If they're email and they hate LinkedIn, you will email them. Follow their channel and they will respond to you. You need a job. They need a candidate that they can work with. Be that candidate, follow their medium. And then type in for the base, your salary. If there's bonus or stock, throw that in. And then it all updates on itself here. So essentially this tells me based on my daily activities, who I'm supposed to contact and go with for the day. Every conversation I have, I put someone in here. And at the end of each day or at the start of each day, I simply go ahead, I sort it and I organize it. And all of the rows in red here tells me exactly who I need to LinkedIn, call, email, or follow up with. Whether I have an interview with them or I need to remind them like, hey, I'm still here. Are we giving up on this project? Happy to provide info if you need it. You are owning the communication. You are going to own this whole scenario. Once one of these boxes gets up to a certain dollar number, which I'll do in a walkthrough if people want to see and get this spreadsheet, you'll know when you have enough jobs in your pipeline. Yes, it is possible to have too many, but you want to have enough jobs in the pipeline so that statistically you will hit an offer and you're not overbooking yourself. You don't need 80 interviews a week. I like to go with 20 interviews per week and then whittle those down because the higher up they go and the closer you are to an offer, the fewer intro conversations you need. If you're about to get married to 3 people, you dated too many people. If you take 10 people on first dates, and statistically 1 out of 10 first dates turn into a marriage, you only need 10 first dates. Don't go on 50 first dates, 1 first date with 10 people to get to 1 marriage. Same thought process for how we're doing this with recruiters. So if this video gets, 100 likes, 1,000 views, I don't know. If we get it so high enough people want to get this tracking sheet, this is how I've organized everything and kept track of it. So this is the part 1. I'll admit it's taken me a couple weeks to finally go ahead and do this guide and walkthrough. In the next part 2 video, I'm going to go over how to blast through 200 applications in one day, 4 job titles that are relevant for you, in work locations that meet your requirement with salary ranges up to your level. Yes, 200 is very realistic. You can do more, you can do less. Your goal is to land intros and interviews. So if you're not getting enough of those, your job is to land more conversations. The biggest part and the hardest part of implementing this whole thing, guys, it's going to be that candidate packet. It's going to be putting together prior work that you've done, showing the value, quantifying it, putting together all these links with your new custom email. If you've got one you like, go ahead and use it, but it's doing your own setup and preparation. The last thing you want is to have conversations through puppytails@gmail.com and you can't tell them your new email because you started off on a weird spot. If you go on a date and you have like spinach in your teeth, you're always going to be spinach teeth person in that other interviewer's mind. You need to come and bring your A game the first time you interact and engage with them. And if you want to land intros and conversations like this, on the next video, if this one gets enough engagement, I'll show you how I blast through different platforms and different sites that I use that have generated interviews, offers, and how you can start playing the roles and get the one that works best for you. Thank you for watching. Glad to help. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm no guru, but I've had to do this many times in my life, and I've made a system to make it easy to keep track of it all. So hopefully this is helpful. Happy to engage however. And yeah, we'll talk later. And thanks so much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.